Chapter 10, Online Ad Retargeting. This will be a very short chapter, maybe the shortest. It's a very simple tactic to use, but one that a lot of people don't realize exists. So the idea behind this is you are targeting people who have already taken an action in your favor. Meaning, they visited your website, they visited your Facebook page, they took an action on one of your ads, they watched a video on Facebook or YouTube. The idea is to retarget them with something that will relate to what you originally reached them for. Now, this is commonly underused because a lot of people don't know it's an option. Let's put a couple of examples out there. Number one, let's go with your website. You should have what's called a tracking pixel on your website. You can use these from Facebook. There's also one through Google. These pixels allow you to target people on other platforms that have been to your website and a lot of times have done specific tasks on your website or visited specific pages. So let's talk about this in the restaurant world. Let's say you're a restaurant that has a beer menu on your site. You have an event page on your site. Maybe you do company events, you do catering, you do weddings. You should have a place on your website for each of these items. Meaning, if you do catering, you should have a catering page on your website. If you do, you can retarget people who have visited that page in the past. And you can do this typically by a number of days from that event. So a lot of times I will target people that 60 days before have visited a certain page on our client's website. Let's say you do weddings and you have a wedding event space like one of our clients in New Jersey. You can target people that have been there. People that have visited that page typically are there for a reason. How much more targeted can an ad get than hitting somebody a few days, a week, or a month after they visit the page for weddings at your facility? So the concept there is targeting your traffic from your website. A lot of restaurants we deal with that we advise, we also advise for them to have specific individual landing pages for these offerings. Meaning that if I were to go to abcrestaurant.com and there's 20 different pages there, I can easily be distracted and going everywhere. But if somebody was to go to a landing page that only has one option, which is to consume the content there and sign up for something, you can have a more captive audience and have a better message on your retargeting. So here's an example. Let's say you do catering and you want to run some advertising on Facebook about catering for your company. Or you have a catering salesperson that goes out and about on the street and they pass out flyers and they do their job as a salesperson and they drive people to a landing page, not your website, to a landing page that is very specific to catering and there are no other options. By doing that, number one, that audience is captive when they get there. They can't click around and go places. They can look for what they came for, catering. Maybe you have one button that goes somewhere else, but typically after they take an action, click here to register your office for a free catering party, something like that. You can then retarget the people that visited that page with a pretty targeted call to action. Hey, I see that you recently visited our catering page. We'd love to cater your next event. Check out what our clients have to say, a testimonial video. So that's the concept there. The other concept is obviously if you have a website that has that page, you can target people that have visited that page. If you have certain actions that can be taken in your website, and this is a little higher level that we're not going to do in the book, but you can have what's called conversions. That if somebody takes an action on your website, you can typically track that. I'll give you a quick example of that. Online ordering. Let's say somebody can go to your website. Like today I went to Better Blend's website. They use Toast point of sale. I went to their website, I clicked online order, I went to the Toast page, I clicked my smoothie, I clicked submit, I paid for it, it put me to a thank you page. If there's the ability to put a tracking pixel on that thank you page that identifies me as a customer who ordered online, You could retarget me through Facebook or Google or Instagram based on me being a past customer and buying something. So that's called a conversion pixel. Now let's talk about retargeting in other manners. One of my favorite ways to retarget is on video views. If you have a Facebook page and you are running videos on there, let's say, for example, you have a series of videos that are your seasonal beers. We did this with a restaurant brewery years back. Every month we released a new video for their seasonal beer. It was typically a 60-second or a 2-minute video. We had a couple versions of it. And we also would have a 30-second. So let's say you got a 30, 60, and a 2-minute. If somebody watches 3 seconds of any of those, there's not a whole lot of intent. I think we'd all agree with that. But if somebody watches 30 seconds of a 60-second video, or 1 minute of a 2-minute video, or 2 minutes of a 2-minute, you've got somebody that has taken a effort to consume your content. And what's great is that on the back of Facebook in particular, you can build audiences in the audience part of the platform, in the business manager and the ads manager. You can build audiences around that. So let's say, for example, in the beer example, you have 30 videos a year that you put out. 10 of those beers are an IPA, 10 of those are a stout, 10 of those are a lager. You could have audiences that are only comprised of the people who watch the lager videos at a certain extent. You can have an IPA crowd. So you can do some cool stuff. Maybe you're doing food videos and you've got steak and wings and French fries, appetizers, desserts. Maybe you have event ones where it's music or it's motorcycles or it's cars or it's kids. You can have your content geared around the goal of creating a custom audience around that messaging so that when you retarget people, let's say it is a event themed video. So you do live music and you put those live music ones up, and let's say you've got, acoustic night, and you do an acoustic night every other week for the whole year. You got 26 different acoustic nights, and you have a video promoting that. Maybe it's the different artists performing, and you have an audience created around acoustic. Well, think about it. Why would you want to advertise to everybody acoustic night? Why not get a little more targeted and build an audience around people that consumed your prior content and get a great audience and target them for acoustic night? Maybe create a lookalike audience of the people who look like the people that consumed your acoustic night videos. So that is an avenue you can use there. You can also retarget based on actions on your page. You can retarget fans. You guys all know that. That's what the boosting really got popular. You can retarget people that have engaged in your content on your page, comments, likes, shares. You can retarget people that responded to one of your past ads. But in my opinion, the video is the one that gives you the best opportunity, because if you create video content around the different segments of your business, I'm thinking about a restaurant down the street from me, Quaker Steak and Lube, Bob Jacoby's Florence location. He has bike night. He has, I think they do classic car cruise-ins. They do Jeep, I want to say called Jeep truck and 4x4 night. They have steak night, rib night. They have live music on the patio. You could create video content around each of those and then put that content out, and then each month go back in there and update your audiences. Like, so for example, if I was to start this in June and I come back in August and I've done 6 videos on bike night, I can create an audience of people who consume my bike night. Now within Facebook, the opportunities, for example, you can do it on all of them like this, but their opportunities I think are 3-second, 10-second, 25%, 50%, 75%. I want to say 90% and 100%. I think 25 to 50% is a pretty solid number. That if you've got a 30-second commercial and somebody, or video, I don't want to call these commercials videos, because I want you to really tie into the content versus saying sale, sale, sale. But if you think about that bike night video or that live music video, that somebody watches 15 seconds of a 30-second video, they took a little effort. And the deeper they get, if it's 50%, if it's 100%, you obviously know you have a better audience. And that allows you also to create better custom audiences. So that is online ad retargeting. Next, we're going to talk about putting it all together. How we take the 5 steps of gaining engagement through attention, building that database, driving trackable sales, getting customer data, and long-term nurture through email and text and what we just talked about, online ad retargeting. Next chapter, putting it all together. We'll see you then.